Have you ever discovered a mysterious door, strolled on in, only to find shit gets weird pretty damn quickly? Well, that's pretty much what's going to happen as you enter the world of Trazyn the Infinite in his Infinite Museion. You see, in a previous life, Trazyn was a collector of sorts, and well, he's carried that on into his Necron life. Which sounds harmless enough, but you see, some things are actually alive and then get turned into museum ornaments, and we can probably safely assume it's against their will. But Trazyn is a complex man-robot. He's a bit weird, he's a bit of a loner, he's not really liked by the other Necron bros, but he's not all bad. He did try to prevent the fall of Cadia when Abaddon came a-knockin', fighting on the side of the good guys essentially. So whether he's friend or foe could be up to you. Although whether it's actually Trazyn is another question, as he's capable of taking over other Necron bodies, so it's nearly impossible to kill the bastard. But come with me now as we explore this DLC for Rogue Trader, and a big thanks to Owlcat Games for sponsoring this video. I am a big Rogue Trader fan. The game gets better with every DLC. Now we're going to take a little look around the museum, although it's going to be all early museum, so don't worry, not spoiling too much here. Largely it does feel like your typical in real life museum. You can walk around and enjoy the exhibits of various treasures from all across time, and you'll even be able to find these handy little Trazyn tour guides to find out all about what you're looking at. Which is actually pretty cool because it does become then like a proper museum and you can just learn about random 40k stuff as you go. I especially enjoy laughing at all the Eldari exhibits. So yeah, the museum itself is actually just kinda cool as a museum anyway, and also just like a real life museum, you can run around and potentially steal some stuff, which may be of great value to you. So lots of weird and interesting stuff for all the family to see. But it's not just static objects here, there are actual dioramas and pieces of history captured in real time. Here I ended up fighting a bunch of Death Corps of Krieg boys who just loved bombarding me with gas grenades. So while you can expect to be enjoying the exhibits, you can also expect to be facing them as well. And my Magos just managed to send himself to the Shadow Realm, nice one Pascal. Some of these bigger pieces of history that have been captured will be played on repeat over and over again, with the poor subjects inside having no idea that they're stuck in such a situation. This one here, a big event of the Inquisition storming a Von Valencia's palace. Why? Well, I'll leave that for you to discover, but this is going to be tying into your character's personal history, and you're going to find out some things about your Von Valencia's bloodline. But this is more than just an exhibit you're going to be looking at, you're going to be getting involved, you're going to be trying to figure it out. Because like I say, this place is stuck on a loop, and it's kind of like a Groundhog Day or that movie Source Code where there's a bomb on a train and he's got to try and stop it from blowing up, but he keeps blowing up and then he has to start again and try to figure it out. That's kind of what's going on here. Things happen and then they get reset and you've got to go from the start again. So yeah, very interesting to interact with and to see what difference you can make. And of course, this is Rogue Trader, so there will be decisions to make which will have their consequences. And with this being a Necron gaff, you can expect to face just a few of them. So there's plenty in the Infinite Museion itself to keep you busy. Even alone, just exploring the museum and seeing all the stuff that Trazyn has is still just a pretty cool experience, even without the combat and stuff. It kept stoking my curiosity to see what was around the next corner in the next exhibit, what random 40k thing did he have. So yeah, super interesting for any 40k lore enjoyer. So that's the Infinite Museion itself, but there's lots of other cool stuff coming alongside it. First of all, how's about a new companion? This big lad is Eugen Febris, a tech priest manipulus genitor extremus. So another Mechanicus bro, this one with an appetite for trying to prolong the human body, namely through augmentation. He also has a Servo Skull Nuncius that he talks to like it's a regular human and has a bit too keen of an interest in Xenos tech. You better keep an eye on him. He has a more ranged support role overall, providing shields and buffing allies, granting extra turns. So a solid fill in the support role. And tying into Eugen being in the game is the augmentation system, which will require you to make use of this very inviting looking operating table that's now on your ship. And this is pretty much as you'd expect, chopping off your limbs and various body parts and replacing them with robotics and metal stuff, ever becoming one with the Omnissiah. And these things are quite a commitment, because when you chop your arm off to put an augment on, you can't stick your arm back on, so you just gotta have another augment. And these things come with a positive effect of what it'll do for you, but also a negative effect, and they can malfunction. So, like I say, bit of a commitment, bit of risk there. If you receive trauma, you can lose the positive effect, but you'll still have the negative, so there's a bit of balancing to do. And not all characters can be augmented, but most of them can. So yeah, this is going to add a lot more depth to the character building, in both adding the positives to your character, but also the negatives that are going to slow them down as well. Some characters that already kind of had implants do have some unique options there too. I personally enjoyed the Scorpion-style Get Over Here arm that pulls enemies to you, which if you have a melee weapon equipped will attack them at the end of it. It can also be used on allies to pull them to safety. Or maybe you'd like a leg augment so you can jump and get yourself in or out of trouble. And like I mentioned, this augmentation station is in a new area of your ship, the Sector Bionica, which does have a bit of a narrative going on in here. There's two major characters that are in a rivalry, and you've got to figure that out and make some moral choices. And in other companion news, if you're more of the heretical persuasion, Eurolon the Cruel has been revamped from the ground up with new mechanics, buff stats, new unique abilities, new itemization, and abilities for summoned demons. So he should be a little bit more spicy than he previously was. There's also some new zones around the galaxy as well, like this planet Zarkov, a lost Von Valencius planet of overgrown violent shrubbery, which actually has a song introduction, kind of reminding me of the Warhammer 3 Ogres song. Here's a bit of that.
In his name we hold unflinching, armed with faith thou will redoubt.
In his light, a toil unending, oath we honor, duty bound.
Zarkov dead and lost forever, taken from us too.
This is a place full of guardsmen that are seemingly slowly but surely losing their minds. Like it says here, you notice some of the guardsmen cringing in pain as if from a headache or twitching. These people look deranged, ready to snap into violence or dance in delirious joy at any moment. Isn't that just the people of Wales, actually? So these guardsmen are on the edge, they're hanging in there, but for how long? Well, maybe you can help them. There's a couple of major characters here, a bit of a narrative, of course. So an interesting new zone to explore there. And another new zone on another planet far, far away, an AdMech flavored world this one. There's some division amongst the Adeptus Mechanicus here, two sides to the story, and of course it's going to be your job to figure it the hell out. So a very dark and grimy environment on this oil platform, and this is the kind of thing I love in these kind of games. Just random things that you may or may not come across as you're exploring around the galaxy, just doing your main missions. You'll come across a random planet, and then you'll end up here doing this stuff. I love when they add these in. It's just filling out the game more and more. And we're not done yet, because there's another one on an ice world, the Manipulus Laboratory. This one gets a little spooky for a minute, but I'll leave it up to you to fully discover what this place has to offer you. Also in order is a congratulations to Owlcat Games as they celebrate their 10-year anniversary, which is no mean feat in this day and age, starting out of course with the Pathfinder games, before making this Rogue Trader, which is one of the best, most authentic 40k experiences out there. And of course they've got Dark Heresy coming, which should basically be this, but even better. They've also got an Expanse game coming as well, which if you're like me, you enjoyed the TV show, you might be looking forward to that. It's going to be a different type of game than they've made before as well, so that's going to be interesting to see how they take to that. But yeah, anyway, congrats to Owlcat Games. The Infinite Museion, another great addition to the Rogue Trader universe. It's out now if you're interested. If you've never played Rogue Trader, well, now is the time. If you wait for a sale, maybe you can get it cheap, get the DLCs cheap. There's hundreds of hours of game right there. I hope you've enjoyed this. Thanks for watching. If you'd like to support the channel, do consider checking out the Patreon or the YouTube memberships. Otherwise, I will see you in the future.